Welcome to this wonderful evening of celebration and commemoration. I hope you've had some time to socialize and reminisce and reconnect and enjoy the company of good friends. We are assembled here tonight to honor 22 teachers, administrators, staff members who will be retiring at the end of this school year. Danville, Pollard, Sandown North, Timberlane Regional Middle School and Timberlane Regional High Schools will say goodbye to their retiring colleagues. The regional district will send 2 long-serving administrators off into well-deserved retirement as well. Dear retirees, dear guests, friends, and colleagues, it is my great pleasure to begin this more formal part of the evening by introducing to you the chairman of the Timberlane Regional School Board, Mr. Bill Baldwin.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I ponder sometimes and think about, what would be something great to say about all the 22 retirees for the school district. And then I take a look around. I see some familiar faces. And you know, the wonderful thing is that I've learned to respect people in the educational field. And it takes time for me personally, it's taken me years to understand it and to become more educated about it, the field. And it is amazing what all of you have done for this school district. And it's something that I personally take pride in. I know my fellow colleagues on the school board take pride in. And we are honored that you have served our district so well. And we wish you luck in your endeavors from here on out. Again, thank you all for your service. And good luck. Thank you.
Good evening. I am honored tonight to speak on behalf of Linda Braffett. Linda has been going to school for a long time. She received her Bachelor of Science in Education from Kent State University. She began her teaching career in Massachusetts, where she taught for 6 years. Linda's first assignment with the Timberlane District was a 3-month substitute at Danville Elementary. Who would have thought that this 3-month stint would turn into a 34-year commitment to the Timberlane family? In 1974, Linda was hired as a full-time grade 1 teacher, and Linda's love of education did not stop with her students, as she would later begin a master's in education at Leslie College, where she graduated in 1994 with a 4.0. And she would continue her development by attaining 30 credits beyond her degree. Over the 34-year tenure, Linda would teach readiness, grades 1, 2, and multi-age. She would serve on several committees, evaluation and professional development, and she was an active member as well in the TTA. In '96, she collaborated with the technology department in developing a staff development software and a format for the Technology Day workshop. And Linda was one of the founding teachers of Camp Jumpstart, a Get Ready for School summer program for incoming first graders. If you consider the 34 years of teaching at Danville Elementary, and you multiply that by 18 children in a class, you have more than 600 children that have been touched by Linda's teaching. 2 of her past students are currently classroom teachers at Danville, and they work alongside of Linda, a teacher who instilled a love of learning in them. Linda has many roles beyond the classroom. She's the proud mother of Nathan and RJ and his wife Leah, and she's a doting grandmother to Lily and Olivia. Linda was a Boston police officer prior to becoming a teacher. All training comes in handy when you're a teacher. But to us, Linda Braffett is an educator, a classroom teacher of young children. Her talent of connecting with that hard-to-reach child is masterful. She truly takes children where they are. She welcomes them, she cares for them, she stretches them, she advocates for them, and most of all, she teaches them. They are all better for the experience of having had Mrs. Braffett as their teacher. Linda, we wish you the best as you undertake this next adventure. We know that you will continue to connect with children and always find that teachable moment. We are very proud of you and all you have done for the Timberlane community. Thank you.
People that I'm going to talk about, and the first person is Pat Hurt. Pat graduated from Lakeland College in Sheboygan, Wisconsin in 1971 with a Bachelor of Science in Education. That same year, she accepted a position at Frenchtown Elementary School in East Greenwich, Rhode Island, teaching second grade, and 2 years later accepting another teaching position in Miami, Florida. It wasn't until 1980 before Pat would join the Timberlane team, first as a teacher's assistant, second as a long-term sub, and finally as a full-time fourth grade teacher. She would teach for the next 25 years, dedicating 21 years to Atkinson students at Atkinson Academy, and the remaining 4 at Pollard. Pat's expertise and passion for teaching has benefited the students at both schools. On numerous occasions, Atkinson students and parents have commended Pat's ability to challenge and enrich their children's education, while Pollard parents note her insight, knowledge, and respect for students. She will be missed, not only for the treats that she bakes and shares with us after snow days, but for her wonderful sense of humor and for her expertise in the area of science that some people might not know about, as well as math. We are thankful and appreciate for all that Pat has contributed to the success of our students, and we wish her the very best in her retirement. Thank you, Pat. She's over here. So look this way. Sue came to Pollard Elementary School as an eager and enthusiastic young teacher, having graduated from Boston State College with a Bachelor of Science in Education just 2 years before in 1970. You can start doing the math. Obviously, it was a perfect fit because she remained at Pollard School for the next 36 years. Let say that one more time. For the next 36 years, as a 5th grade teacher. She's not really good with change. She took 1 year off when her family expanded with the addition of her daughter. A firm believer that one never stops learning, she has continued to further her education by completing many graduate courses over the years. She fosters an excitement and interest in learning in all her students, promoting development of good work study habits and study skills. The epitome of patience and kindness. Sue is the kind of teacher that all parents wish for their children. She develops strong relationships with her students and their parents, using the insight she gains to plan for individual student learning. Children are really able to thrive and blossom under her tutelage. In 1984, she received the Timberlane Teacher Recognition Program Award for her contributions to instructional excellence in the school system. She has served on the Pollard Advisory Committee, the World Studies Curriculum Committee. She participates in family math nights all the time. We wish her absolutely the best of luck. 36 years, Sue Lander. Now, the third person that's on our Pollard School list is Lucy LaChance. And Pollard School is lucky to have the TLC program at Pollard School. We have embraced them, but I feel that it would be more appropriate for Kathy McKechnie, the director of TLC, to talk about Lucy, so I'm inviting her up now. Thank you.
I am pleased to speak on behalf of Lucy LaChance. Lucy graduated from Notre Dame College in 1995 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in early childhood education. She immediately began a career with Timberlane as a teacher assistant at Sandown Central, moving to Timberlane Learning Center the following year as an assistant preschool teacher. In 1997, she became a preschool teacher at TLC. In 2005, she furthered her education by earning her master's in early childhood education at the University of New Hampshire. Lucy enjoys a special connection to the preschool students. Parents find her to be kind, caring, and welcoming to their children. Lucy strongly feels that her role as a teacher is to provide her students with a safe and trusting environment where they are met at their own emotional, educational, social, and physical levels, thus fostering a love of learning at this early stage in their lives. Lucy has been very devoted to the children and families of TLC. In recent years, she has helped many families transition their 3-year-olds from early support services to our program. She loves to share her knowledge and expertise with her colleagues, participating eagerly in group discussions. Lucy, the growing song will never be the same. May you enjoy a long and happy retirement. Congratulations.
Hi. This year we have 3 people retiring from Sandown North, all 3 whom we will very sincerely miss. The first honoree this evening is Mady Jo Allen. Mady earned her Bachelor of Science in Education at the University of Maine in 1970. She then went on to accept teaching positions in the state of Maine. It wasn't until the blizzard of '78 that Mady secured a teaching position at Timberlane, which would begin that following fall in Sandown at Sandown Central. To quote Mady, "The rest is history." Her teaching career with the district continued for the next 30 years, while she also completed a master's in education from Lesley College in 1989. Throughout her tenure, Mady served as the PTA representative for many years, the Sunshine Fund coordinator, she was a member of the Curriculum Council, and she's been a workshop presenter. She implemented a pen-pal exchange program in 1983 with the second grade class in Phoenix, and apparently it was quite successful. That relationship continued for 16 years. In 1989, her class was selected to represent the state of New Hampshire by participating in a USA Today newspaper project, and in 1990, she represented the state again in a writing program developed by IBM. Mady was selected 5 times between the years of 1994 and 2005 for inclusion in Who's Who among America's teachers. This honor was made possible by the nominations of her former students, which is a real testimony to her teaching abilities. Mady's years as a member of the PTA board gave her a real understanding of the importance of parents' involvement in their children's education. She worked closely with the volunteers to provide the children with enriching motivational activities. She offered her input in a respectful, well-thought-out way, and her efforts resulted in a stronger partnership between parents and educators. Mady has lived in the community with her son Tristan for many years and was always able to separate her personal life from her professional life, and that's no easy feat. As a friend to many, Mady's future plans include spending time at her home on the coast of Maine with Mr. Jones, her pug. We extend our deep gratitude for the past 30 years and wish her the very best. The next honoree is Elaine Zawacki. Upon earning a Bachelor of Arts in Elementary Education from Queens College of the City University of New York, Elaine's teaching career began in 1967 in Queens. She taught in New York and Massachusetts for 19 years before securing a position with Timberlane in 1995. Over the next 13 years, Elaine primarily taught first graders with a 2-year grade 2 assignment in her 8th and 9th years. She became known for her careful, thoughtful observation of learners while forming strong partnerships with parents. She served on the Merit Committee and played a key role in implementing the PBIS target team. During Elaine's absence, we have missed her on the target team. She always believed that we could accomplish our goals, and after listening to the challenges before us, would nod thoughtfully. After some time, she would offer a suggestion for next steps. When we were off track, she had a kind way of bringing us back to our work. She actually made some visual reminders of our charge and would put them on the table at the beginning of our meetings. When we went on our PBIS summer retreat, she and Kathy Dans would take a walk, come back and knock on my door, and Elaine would begin with, "I've been thinking." She made us laugh, she helped us grow, and the partnership that she formed with Gloria Karen as her collaborating teacher was certainly exemplary. Elaine's retirement plans include spending time with her husband Gary while awaiting the arrival of her first grandchild in December. That's when the real fun begins, I've heard. Congratulations, Elaine, and our thanks to you. And our last retiree and honoree is Maureen Platt. For the record, Maureen is really retiring this time. It's an inside joke, but it's not really an inside joke because I think we all know about it. Maureen joined the Timberlane team in December 1988 as a fourth grade teacher in Sandown. In 1993, she switched to second grade, and then in 1995, she assumed the role of reading consultant, the same position in which she's now retiring from. Maureen's educational background includes a Bachelor of Arts in Education from Mount St. Mary College, a Master of Education in Advanced Reading from Notre Dame, and more than 30 graduate credits from Colorado State University, the University of California, the University of New Hampshire, and Center Graduate College. When Maureen became a reading consultant, I was her mentor. I vividly remember one day when she called and asked me if I could adjust my schedule to meet with her. She thought she wanted to leave her position as a consultant and return to the classroom. Her reason? She felt that something was missing, the strong connection to children and families. We brainstormed ways that those connections could occur in her new position, and that was all it took. Maureen made it happen. Parents trust her and seek her advice. Children know that she will always support them, but they have a responsibility to do their part. Actually, that's the way we all feel, even as adults who work with Maureen. We know she will always be on our team as long as we are honest with her and do our part. Maureen has served on numerous committees at both the school and district level. As a professional developer, she offered many workshops and classes to educators in the Timberlane district. Despite all her accomplishments, and there were many, the one she will be most remembered for is starting Beach Day, an annual day-long celebration with margaritas and pina coladas, non-alcoholic, of course. Maureen's retirement plans include moving to Arizona with her husband, Bruce. Thank you for all you've done, Maureen.
We have 5 people from the middle school who are retiring. First one is Paul Mannion. In 1968, Paul received a degree in political science from McMurray College in Jacksonville, Illinois, and embarked on a rich and varied life. In his pre-Timberlane days, he worked as a photographer, a media specialist for cable TV, and a social worker. With the boom in information technology, Paul went back to school and received a certificate in computer networking from New Hampshire Technical College. Upon receipt of his certificate, he was hired by Timberlane as a technology assistant, eventually becoming a technology specialist. The middle school staff claim that computers fix themselves when he walks in the room. We like to think of Paul as sort of our relief pitcher. We call to the bullpen frequently and Paul comes running. He also plays in a calypso band, a Cajun band, a jazz band, and a country band. He can play all the stringed instruments and one not so common one, the washboard. Paul, by the way, we still have openings for the talent show next week if you'd like to join. A history buff, Paul is particularly drawn to the era of the Civil War, often visiting Civil War historical sites on his travels. A master gardener, he is never happier than when he is on his hands and knees in the dirt. He plans on continuing as a photographer and videographer in his retirement. He also plans to start a greeting card business now that he'll have time to devote to such ambitious projects. Sounds like a busy retirement. We hope you'll get time to sit down and relax by the river in your house in Maine. Happy retirement, Paul. You will be missed. Next is Mary Jenny. Mary and Jenny graduated from Merrimack College in 1967 with a BA in social science and immediately entered the field of education as a third grade teacher in Bristol, Connecticut. I was in third grade in 1967. She eventually left teaching to raise 3 sons, somehow finding time to continue her own education as well. She was awarded her Master of Science degree in elementary ed from Central Connecticut State College in 1975. After spending some years in the corporate world as a sales trainer for high-tech educational conference company, Mary Ann was drawn back to the world of public education in 2000 when she accepted a position as an 8th grade language arts teacher in Londonderry. Then she moved to Timberlane in 2001. One of her first successes at the middle school was starting the school newspaper, The Eye of the Tiger. She enthusiastically became involved in extracurricular activities such as Sergeant Camp, Homework Club, Exchange City Curriculum Unit, and Biography Research Project. Her commitment to her students cannot be overstated. They can recite prepositions in alphabetical order in their sleep. Aboard, about, above, across, after, against, along, among, around, at, before, behind, between, beyond, by. I think she was my teacher. She brings the richness and wisdom of her life experience to her classroom. She brings her accordion in at least once a year to give her students a chance to try it for themselves. Last year, she taught her students the waltz for the winter dance-off, and the boys wore top hats and the girls tiaras. This year, it was the tango. Perhaps some future Dancing in the Stars winner will call Mrs. Jenny and say, I owe it all to my 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Jenny. 2 words are heard over and over again with Mary Ann, and they are high standards. She believes in those high standards for her students and for herself. Over the years, she's been actively involved in her sons' lives by serving as a volunteer with Boy Scouts and the local PTA. Mary Ann is looking forward to her retirement and will be leaving in July to travel cross-country with her husband, Bob. She plans on becoming a snowbird by spending winters in Florida. We wish her a safe trip this summer and a very happy retirement. Now, Mary Ann had graduated from college in 1967. Margaret Mackey Ciancio graduated from college in 1961 from the world-famous Hollywood High in Los Angeles. She received her Bachelor of Arts in 1965 from Whittier College in California, quickly followed by a Master's of Arts in Teaching from Cornell and a second Master's of Arts in Education from Clark University, becoming a member of the Phi Alpha Theta National History Honor Society along the way. In keeping with a strong belief that the learning process never ends, she has continued to amass an impressive number of postgraduate courses. Margaret joined the staff in Timberlane in 1977 and has taught in the middle school for 31 years. During that time, she has broadened her students' view of the world by bringing in people of differing cultures and backgrounds in her classroom. Through her efforts, she has brought in students and people from Ghana, Kenya, Russia, India, Japan, Spain, Latvia, and Morocco. In 1996, she took a sabbatical at Clark University, during which she took more courses on multicultural and social diversity in the classroom. Margaret's been actively involved in developing interdisciplinary units, coaching extracurricular activities, and has participated in the district's Computer for Teacher program, as well as Staff Development Committee. In addition to her belief in the value of education, Margaret believes that one should become involved in one's community. To that end, she serves her town government and has participated in a number of church activities, including, but not limited to, serving as a parish delegate in the Episcopal Diocesan Convention. She is a partner in Results, a grassroots political lobby dedicated to creating the political will to end hunger and poverty. She is kind and thoughtful. 2 other sidebars. One is Margaret is the first person I met when I came to Timberlane last year. And after finding out that I was going to be the principal, she asked which political party I'm involved with. And I gave her the right answer, thankfully. And as a former social studies teacher, we've had many conversations, and I'm going to miss walking down the hall and having her grab my arm and tell me about the latest show that she's watched, article she's read, or some other tidbit in history that I needed to know and I'd be interested in. Her coworker shared a story about discovering that a coworker was heartbroken because she was going to have to place her parents' beloved dog in a shelter due to family circumstances, and she immediately stepped in and adopted the dog and brought him home, where he is loved and pampered. She has no immediate plans for retirement, but she will delight in not having to set her alarm clock at 5 a.m. We suspect that even though she will be retired, she will remain busy and involved with the world around her. Margaret, happy retirement. We have two others that couldn't make it tonight. Ann Sheehy served the district 29 years as a social studies teacher, and member of the faculty teaching relayed a story about when another member of her team was ill for 6 weeks. She organized dinners for the family, making sure that hot meals were prepared daily. She's respected and admired by her peers, and Ann's immediate plans for the future are to day trip and spend time with her family and birdwatch. She got her start in 1972 when the Bruins were winning the Stanley Cup and the Watergate scandal was breaking, and the song of the year was "You Got a Friend." She graduated from Salem State with a BA in history and began her career at St. Joe's School in Salem. She came to Timberlane and taught 7th grade social studies for 29 years. Terrific person, and we will miss Ann. The third social studies teacher to leave the middle school. I came in as a principal, and I have social studies background, and 3 people are leaving. Marcia Marino, grade 8. She served 24 years. She earned a degree in 1982 and began working as a teacher in March of 1984. She got her master's degree in secondary education from UNH in 95, and during her 24 years, she had varying times was on building scheduling committee, athletic eligibility committee, the HQT House Plan Committee, as well as World Affairs Council of New Hampshire. She worked to reinforce the core values of humanity to her students, focusing on tolerance, compassion, respect, empathy, and justice, values she embodies herself. She helped to write the social studies curriculum in conjunction with 8th grade teachers and helped to create a program that successfully transitions students to high school programs. I also noticed last year that Marcia's an avid tap dancer, joining the 20 or so middle school tap dancers who meet regularly. She plans to spend a significant amount of time with her granddaughters in retirement while taking one leisurely day at a time. We wish her a long and fulfilling retirement.
I brought water because we have 8 people retiring from the high school. And I have a feeling that I'm not going to have as colorful of a bunch of things to say as I've heard so far. So it's tremendous tribute that you principals have given to your people. Some of these people I've seen around since I got here in 1980, and I want to tell you there's going to be a tremendous power outage in this district when the school year ends. There's been quite a crew that we have leaving tonight, and I'm really proud to have worked with you all. We're going to start tonight with Betty Bigelow. Betty Bigelow has been in our district for 36 years. Betty joined the Timberlane district fresh out of college in 1970 after graduating cum laude from the University of Palm Beach in Florida with a Bachelor of Science in Education. In 1978, she earned her MBA from New Hampshire College and continued on her path of academic achievement by earning her doctoral degree in education with a 4.0 from BU in 1981. From the start, she contributed to the growth of the business education program, only taking time away from teaching in 1978 for a one-year sabbatical, and in 1990 to raise her family. In fact, Betty was the first teacher in the district to make use of the sabbatical leave. Her contributions are many. In 1979, she was appointed as the Career Education Coordinator for both the Timberlane and the Hampstead School Districts, a statewide project dedicated to providing the means for integrating the world of work with academics. As the district coordinator for this project, Betty was directly responsible for securing the grant, which enabled the purchase of the first microcomputer in both districts. In the same year, she earned her doctoral degree. She was selected as the Outstanding Young Woman of America in recognition of her outstanding ability, accomplishments, and service to the community. She's been an active member of the BU chapter of Phi Delta Kappa. In 1984, Betty was a recipient of the Timberlane Teacher Recognition Program Award. In 1996, she was selected to Who's Who in America's Teachers, an honor made all the more special by the fact that she was nominated by former students. She has immersed herself in school activities such as the Future Business Leaders of America, management of the student store, serving as class advisor, advisor to student council, and to the yearbook committee. In 1999, the Timberlane yearbook, the Modulus, was dedicated to her. Throughout the years, Betty has been deeply committed to making sure the business education program at Timberlane has kept pace with the changing face of business over the past 3 decades. Not to make her feel old, but she came in with the manual typewriters, but she's leaving in the age of computers. We will miss our lead teacher for the business department. Her talents and dedication, grace and charm have been invaluable to the Timberlane community. Betty, we wish you a very happy and wonderful retirement. We'll continue with Betty's close friend, Mr. Tony Hanscom. Tony has been in the district since 1978. That's 30 years in the Social Studies Department. Miraculously surviving a plane crash when he was a college student, Tony Hanscom went on to receive his Bachelor of Science degree in Business in 1970 from New Hampshire College and quickly jumped with both feet into a teaching career. From 1971 to 1978, he taught social studies, science, reading, and PE at the Immaculate Conception School in Cambridge, Mass. You laugh. At the same time, he also was a driver ed teacher in Cambridge for 4 years. It seems like people have been taxing him around for a long time. I find that so hard to believe. And he's taught psychology for 1 year in Newbury Junior College in Boston, Mass. Tony joined the Timberlane team in 1978. If you asked him what he's most proud of in his 30 years here, I don't know if he'd be honest, but he would probably say Model UN. Under his tutelage, the program he began in 1980 has continued to evolve and excel. Timberlane's Model UN teams consistently place high in local and regional competitions. His students have earned recognition such as Best in Competition, Outstanding Delegation, Best Delegate. He received a yearbook dedication from his students when he served as class advisor in 1982, and he also has been honored in Who's Who numerous times. Tony's accomplishments have not been limited to the Timberlane School District. Less known about Tony is his musical gift. He's an accomplished, classically trained pianist. In the 1980s, he co-wrote an economic curriculum for the state of New Hampshire with Krista McAuliffe. And he was also selected as one of the delegates to represent the city of Cambridge in the League of Cities and Towns meeting with the U.S. Legislature and the President of the United States. Tony's congeniality will surely be missed at the high school. He enters retirement with a desire to remain committed to education, maintaining the close friendships he's developed throughout his career. To that end, he will continue to serve on the advisory committee to Manchester Community College. Tony, we wish you the best. Next up is Linda Losey, who has been with us for 11 years and is a Spanish teacher. Linda Losey taught Spanish for 11 years at Kingswood High School in Wolfboro, New Hampshire, and McIntosh College in Dover, New Hampshire, before joining the World Language Team at Timberlane in 1997. She earned her Bachelor of Science degree from California State University in 1970 and her Master of Education from the University of Pittsburgh in 1975. Senora Losey also took several advanced grammar and conversation classes in Mexico, furthering her knowledge and understanding of the Spanish language. Linda prides herself on making her classes both instructional and entertaining. She enhances student interest in her classes by planning a variety of learning activities. When presenting material to her students in the classroom, she does so with a dramatic flair which keeps their attention and stimulates their interest. She told me today that she looks ahead to return to her hometown, south of Pittsburgh, PA, where she will help restore her family home and be near loved ones. Linda, good luck in your retirement. The students and staff at Timberlane are grateful for all you've done. Thank you. Next up is Jamie Martin. Jamie's only been with Timberlane for 6 years, but he has had a long, distinguished career in New Hampshire. Jamie McFarland Martin II received his Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Arts degree in 1964 from Parsons College in Fairfield, Iowa, and entered the world of sales, working in Dayton, Ohio, and San Francisco, California. Like many other young people entering the workforce in that era and searching for a way to make a difference, Jamie joined the Peace Corps in 1970. He spent the next 4 years, and Tony, somebody help me with the pronunciation, in Chiang Mai. Is that close? Wow. And that's in Thailand. And he was teaching and developing English language and literature in the Humanities Department of Chiang Mai University. He taught English majors, medical students, and engineering students. And he developed an English language literacy program in the village where he was living. He returned to the United States in 1975 and spent the next 23 years at Sanborn Regional High School in Kingston, New Hampshire as an English teacher and then the English department chair. While at Sanborn, Jamie served as head track and field and cross-country coach. His years of service resulted in induction to the NHIAA Coaches Hall of Fame. A lifelong learner, Jamie took advanced graduate courses through Tufts University, Brown University, and Antioch, and even spent 2 summers at Oxford University in England through the Breadloaf School of Middlebury College. He received his Master of Education degree from UNH in 1980. In 1999, he moved to the White Mountains Regional High School in Whitefield, New Hampshire, to take a position as assistant principal. And Timberlane was indeed fortunate when he joined the high school English department as the department chair in 2002. Jamie remained in that position for 3 years until he stepped down from the chair position in 2005. Jamie's colleagues hold him in high esteem. Some refer to him even as the great communicator. He always has time to listen to any student, parent, or teacher, and is willing to share the benefits of his vast and varied experiences with anyone who expresses a need for advice. A voracious reader, he instills in his students a love of literature and English language. Perhaps in his well-deserved retirement, Jamie will have time to enjoy stocking and unstocking his wine cellar and reading all those books he has looked so longingly, so often at on his majestic wall shelves, but has not had the time to read. Happy retirement, Jamie. Sandy graduated from the University of New Hampshire in 1982 with a Bachelor of Science degree in home economics. She began her career in Timberlane in 1986 first as a substitute teacher in the spring and as a permanent hire in the fall at the junior high school. In 1987, she received her Master of Arts in Teaching degree from UNH. In 1989, she moved to the high school where she has remained as home technology teacher till this year. Sandy has consistently gone above and beyond for both her students and the district, pitching in wherever needed. She served on the Wellness Committee, assisted Mealy's Meals, helped students with their prom dresses, and in 1990 and 1991 organized and carried out the babysitting program for the district's annual meeting. In 1999, Sandy represented the Timberlane School District and the community at the UNH Team Nutrition Summer Institute. In 2003, she was chosen Walmart Teacher of the Year, having been nominated for the honor by her peers and students. Sandy's retirement will be filled with the things she loves most, her family and traveling. She will probably spend many hours at her lakeside retreat in the Granite State with the love of her life, her granddaughter, Tegan. In the winter, she can spend time at her favorite vacation spot, Cancun, and she will be able to go there anytime she feels like it, not just at school vacation time. Between her love of painting and her commitment to fitness, we're sure Sandy will have no time to miss us, but we will certainly miss her. Sandy, good luck and have a happy retirement. Want an intermission, maybe? Joan Sterna. Joan Sterna has been in our district for 20 years as a home economics and culinary arts teacher. Joan graduated from Keene State College in 1973 with a Bachelor of Science degree in education, majoring in home economics. She trained as a chef at Madeline Kamen's Modern Gourmet in Boston, which in the late 70s was considered the finest culinary school in the country. The San Francisco Culinary Academy and the CIA. So she had a vast, not that CIA. This is the Culinary Institute of America. While on the West Coast, she took a position in the executive dining room of the computer company Atari, serving such notables as Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Joe Montana, and others. Eventually, she became homesick for the East and began developing the culinary arts program at Timberlane High School when she joined the district in 1988. Joan and her students have provided food and hospitality for various functions over the years, including the All-State Jazz Festival, the Gubernatorial Forum, and the Math Science Luncheon. She's a dedicated teacher, inspiring her students with her passion for food and cooking. And in 2005, Joan became published when she published Good Food Simply Prepared, a collection of her family recipes. In 2006, New Hampshire Chronicle featured Joan's cookbook and her cooking skills both at home and at school. Joan's example has encouraged her students to put together their own collections of recipes handed down from generation to generation. It's hard to think of Joan as retired, and we will certainly miss our Wednesday meals. But we are sure she will be spending quite a bit of time at her family's summer cottage on the coast of Maine, possibly researching recipes for a second cookbook. All the best, Joan. We will miss you. Kate Center has been at Timberlane for 21 years as an art teacher, and she's our lead teacher of the art department. Kate's career as an artist and an educator began in 1965 when she graduated from the Massachusetts College of Art with a Bachelor of Science in Education. For the next 2 decades, she taught in the Massachusetts public school system, while at the same time raising her professional profile as an artist, illustrator, and muralist, both here in the U.S. and overseas in Holland, and working toward her master's degree in education, which she received from Antioch College, or Antioch University, in 1984. Kate came to Timberlane High School in 1987. It was not long before we all came to realize that Kate had many talents besides her obvious artistry. She co-chaired the Professional Development Committee. She was a NEAS Standard Chair for 2 visitations, served as a student advisor for both the yearbook and the Journal of Creative Expression, As We Are. She served as advisor to STOP, which is Students That Oppose Prejudice, and the GSA, that's the Gay Straight Alliance, and she was instrumental in presenting the AIDS quilt to the Timberlane community. Kate worked tirelessly to facilitate an art exchange with Timberlane's sister school in Weinstadt, Germany. In 1999, she participated in the Krista McAuliffe Technology Conference, co-presenting a workshop entitled The Power of Presentation, Integrating PowerPoint, Art, Artist, and the Internet. Perhaps Kate's most important contribution to the Timberlane community has been her dedication to her students. As a tireless advocate and a voice for them, her value cannot be overstated. No child left behind has new meaning when one observes Kate's way of educating and supporting her students. Through her efforts and skill as a teacher, her students learn to express their thoughts, feelings, and ideas visually. She uses art as a medium to help students feel respected, worthy, and valued. Kate has made a positive difference at Timberlane. We will surely miss her. Not surprisingly, Kate's plans for retirement are centered around art. She plans on being a full-time artist, possibly teaching at the college level. Kate, we wish you a very happy and productive retirement. Michael Paraso, coach. District service, 1993 to 2008. That's 15 years, longer than he spent at any of the other 35 places that he worked. Mike received a Bachelor of Science degree in physical education from the University of Rhode Island in 1963, followed next year by a Master of Science of Education degree from Bridgeport in Connecticut. He began his career by working as an assistant football coach at such prestigious institutions as Syracuse University, the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, Slippery Rock, among others. Mike came to Timberlane in 1993 with glowing references from every place he had ever worked. He seems to have been universally admired and respected for his dedication and leadership everywhere he has taught. Under his direction, the Timberlane High School football team won the Division II state championship in 1999 and again in 2001. Coach, as he is referred to by staff and students alike, is probably the most genuine and highly thought of person at the high school. The graduating class of 2002 recognized him as their unsung hero in the modulus. They wrote, "To handle yourself, use your head. To handle others, use your heart." It's a quote they chose that best represents the way he lives and teaches. He encourages the students to live their lives mindfully, that whatever they do each day has an impact on the people around them. He's been a positive influence on his students, preaching positive thinking for the past 15 years, and we are really going to miss him. Mike plans on spending more time traveling and obeying his wife, Sue, as she conducts lectures around the globe, and he carries her bags. Tending to the lily of the valleys in the garden that he loves, and fishing with his grandson Kyle in the Adirondacks. And in his retirement, with a little luck, maybe we can convince Mike to come back and do some mentoring of teachers, of kids, coaching, perhaps some leadership training. His skills are diverse and strong. Coach, congratulations. We're going to miss you.
I had Coach Paraso sign a waiver. I told him I couldn't be responsible for anything that Woody said. Now, this one's hard. There are certain times in your life, I think, when you need a guardian angel, and I've had two of them. And guardian angels shouldn't be able to retire. The first one, Dennis Bucky Tardif. Coach Bucky Tardiff began coaching in Timberlane in the early 80s, quickly winning state titles in 1981 and 82. Losing his way for a while, he left to coach in Methuen, Mass. Only to return home in 1985, securing a position, actually 3 positions, with the district as part-time math teacher, part-time athletic director, and part-time AV coordinator. A man who could do it all for a bargain salary of just over $20,000. By 1988, he was offered a full-time director's position and would go on to be chosen as Athletic Director of the Year 2 years in a row in the state of New Hampshire. Not only did Bucky oversee the entire athletic function of the district, he spearheaded all fundraising for the athletic fields, improvements, and upgrades. In 1993, along with the Athletic Council, which he established, and the original track group, the construction of the Timberlane track game field, stands, press box, and concession stands was completed. Bucky has also been a key player raising funds for lights at the game field, the development of the tennis courts, and the new soccer, softball, and hockey, and field hockey game fields. His fundraising efforts are legendary, and through his network in the community and his contacts, he has garnered tremendous support for the district in and outside of athletics. He was a district leader in the promoting of the last renovation project that resulted in a new elementary school, improvement to all schools, and the construction of the PAC. Bucky's job is athletics. His passion and his love is the Timberlane Regional School District. His contributions are priceless. Bucky has enjoyed countless magical Timberlane moments as coach, a parent coach, and athletic director at Timberlane. As mentioned, he introduced championship basketball to the high school in 1981 and 92 with teams that were scrappy and tough, like their young coach. I hear perhaps the best defensive teams of that era. They tell me you could hear Bucky coming from a block away, and you still can. Bucky can never sneak up on you. His laughter precedes him, and it gives him away. Bucky's teams were respected as much for their sportsmanship as for their victories. This remains a universally accepted characteristic of all Timberlane teams under his leadership. Bucky returned to coaching basketball in time to coach the top-scoring Timberlane female basketball player of all time, his daughter Julie, who in 1998 set the girls' scoring record with 1,335 points. A few years later, in 2001, Bucky and Sue cheered from the stands when their son Chris set the boys' all-time mark at 1,664 points. Show off. Both Julie and Chris have gone on to successful college playing careers, and both have come home to Timberlane to coach basketball. The legacy lives. Under Bucky's guidance, Timberlane sports offerings expanded, adding lacrosse, spirit, tennis, volleyball, and hockey. Let's not forget ultimate frisbee. He also guided Timberlane's successful jump from Class I to Class L. Under his leadership, Timberlane has won 35 state and New England championship banners. And yes, Woody, Barry, they're not all in wrestling. The OWL coaches respect Bucky's honesty, loyalty, and supportive nature. One of the main reasons there has been very little turnover in coaching at Timberlane is because Bucky, as a coach, understands the passion and pride that drive athletes, parents, and coaches alike. One of the measures of a great man is his willingness to stick to his principles. A few stories. One from some years ago. Bucky discovered that an ineligible, non-starting member of the football team had participated on one of the special teams during a game that the team had won. With that game, the team qualified for the playoffs. However, knowing the rule, Bucky called in the error to NHIAA. When the NHIAA correctly enforced the rule, Timberlane forfeited that game, and another team went on to the playoffs. Bucky took a great deal of heat from individuals who felt he should have looked the other way. That was not a choice for Bucky. You can count on Bucky to do the right thing. Now, they tell me Barry might say that doesn't apply to the golf course, but that's another story. Another more recent story, one with a personal twist. My first year in Timberlane, I convinced my wife and my neighbors to attend the Alvin Timberlane hockey game on Friday night at our home rink in Salem. Now you have to understand, I live in Hudson, and my daughter's boyfriend played for Alvin at the time. So to make a long story short, it turned out to be more like Friday night at the fights with a hockey game breaking out. In the end, the Salem SWAT team cleared the rink and came looking for the district administrator. Looking around, I realized that would be me. This marked my first real interaction with Bucky and the hard work that he does. What impressed me most was that with all the district and building administrators who got involved across 2 districts, Bucky was the one person who got it just right. No overreaction, no underreaction. In the end, because of Bucky's counsel, bad was good. A life lesson was learned on both sides. Always the coach, there is no such thing as failure, just an opportunity to get better. We extend our heartfelt thanks for his leadership and dedication, especially his passion and his laughter, and we wish him well in his retirement. The Reverend Martin Luther King once said that a man should be judged on the quality of his character, and Buckley certainly is a character. Today I told Peg that I had a chance to have some fun at her expense, and she looked at me with that principal's look and the finger out, and she said, "But I'll get you back." Margaret Peg Ralph. Peg has served in many roles during her 30 years of service to the Timberlane School District. Middle school math teacher, math department chairperson, middle school assistant principal, Danville Elementary principal, and director of elementary education, the position from which she retires. Her educational career began in Salem, New Hampshire, at the Woodbury School in 1965, upon graduating from the University of Massachusetts with a Bachelor's of Arts in Elementary Education, where she floundered hopelessly for 12 years until coming to Timberlane. In 1977, Peg secured a math teaching position at the Timberlane Regional Middle School, where she would go on to earn her Master's of Education and Administration degree from the University of New Hampshire. She served as a math teacher for 10 years, 6 of those as department head, before advancing to the role of middle school assistant principal. She would advance again in 1996 to principal of Danville Elementary School. Peg's great accomplishments at Timberlane are too many to mention, so I'll mention just a few. Kissing a pig. Dressing up as a lobster. Impersonating SpongeBob SquarePants. And allowing herself to be slimed, they tell me, several times, all in an effort to inspire her students. What is best for kids, and certainly not what is best for principals, has been her motto since, and was the basis on which she has made all her decisions in education. She was a kind principal that would go the extra mile to make sure that the children, the staff, and the schoolhouse were always taken care of. One of her staff members once noted that as busy as Peg was, she always made you feel like you were the most important person in the world when she spoke to you. And although she doesn't eat it herself, she would keep a stash of chocolate ready and available for when folks drop by to chat. John Holland has already informed Kelly, Peg's replacement, that she is expected to maintain the dish with special emphasis on dark chocolate. At Danville, building issues often centered around water. And Peg, being Peg, preferred to handle issues personally, a hands-on principal. One time, a leak caused a hallway ceiling panel to bulge, and Peg went into action. She got a knife from the kitchen, with total disregard for herself and our weapons policy. Arlene, block your ears, please. She stood on a chair, again, with total disregard for our step and stool protocol. And she jabbed the ceiling to relieve the pressure yet again with total disregard for Sir Isaac Newton and the gravity and the laws of gravity. 40 years of accumulated ceiling stuff came gushing down on Peg, soaking her from head to toe. The problem? Too much water. Too little would also present a problem. On another occasion, the school lost its water. Peg called the fire department and asked them to come and fill several 50-gallon drums strategically placed about the building. She then went on bucket brigade, filling buckets and manually flushing toilets, raising the standard for hands-on leadership. The thing about Peg was she would never ask anyone to do anything that she wouldn't do herself. Thank God. Peg's most recent display of commitment to our children was clearly demonstrated in her tremendous effort to bring kindergarten to the district. She worked tirelessly. Thank you for that. She worked tirelessly speaking with audiences, some more willing to listen than others, on the importance of having public kindergarten and how it would benefit our children. As history has shown, her efforts paid off and an incredible kindergarten program was created and implemented in 5 short months. No one was more proud than she when we welcomed the incoming class of 2020 in September of 2008. With this particular accomplishment, Peg's legacy will live on as we do what is best for children well into the future. We wish Peg the very best in her upcoming retirement. For Peg, the very best includes coffee ice cream, fish chowder, onion rings, Larry's lobster rolls, having fun, a camaraderie of friends, family time with Ken, children's laughter, and a red convertible. Maybe not in that order. I would like to conclude with something that Peg once shared with her staff. As you enter this place of work, please choose to make today a great day. Your colleagues, students, and yourself will be thankful. Find ways to play. We can be serious about our work without being serious about ourselves. Stay focused in order to be present when students and team members most need you. And should you feel your energy lapsing, try this surefire remedy. Find someone who needs a helping hand, a word of support, or a good ear, and make their day. And if I might add, if that doesn't work, give them chocolate. So, Peg? Thank everybody who joined us tonight. I especially want to again congratulate and thank all the retirees for everything you've done for children, and I wish you a chocolate retirement. Thank you.